It's right there. All right, call this Board of Education meeting to order at 7:00 p.m. If we could all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Pursuant to policy 0168.1, when our secretary is absent, the presiding officer must appoint someone to be secretary for the meeting. Sorry. Mr. St. Ange, would you please be secretary for the evening?
Yes.
Thank you. Then will you do roll call for us?
Yes. Mr. Wade.
Here.
Mr. Patani.
Here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Ms. Edwards.
Here.
Ms. Frederickson.
Here.
Mr. St. Ange, myself is here, and Mr. Walton is absent.
Thank you. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Just addition in expanding our items for Roman numeral 7, closed session will be for student discipline. And for Roman numeral 8, our open session, number 1 will be a recommendation for student discipline.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to communications, and first up is student council.
Okay, hi, my name is Bernadetta Lazinski. I'm a senior and part of student council. Some of the recent things at our school include, we did a food drive fundraiser. We raised over $600, which came from the volleyball capstone tournament, teachers' donations to wear jeans, bake sales, and root beer float sales. All the money went to families in need over the holidays. Rachel's Challenge will be hosting their annual cookie bake next week. Plates will be $10. The art department and Mr. Lusby are working on a float for this Saturday's parade. Theme will be All I Want for Christmas. The first boys varsity basketball game is tomorrow, home against Flint. Girls first varsity game will be the following week. The EdTech construction trades class did 22 push-ups each day for 22 days and raised money to honor veterans. 22 represents the statistic that 22 veterans commit suicide each day. Along with this, Rachel's Challenge has been trying to collect personal items to create care packages to send to veterans. That's okay.
Thank you for being here.
Next up, we have Mr. Gauthier is going to kick off our fall sports programming. Thank you, Mr. Gauthier, for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having our fall coaches and athletes at tonight's meeting. I was grateful to be able to return to see some of our program's accomplishments this fall. Tonight, to speak on behalf of our fall sports, we have senior Chase Jones representing boys and girls cross country, sophomore Ashlyn Ludwig representing on behalf of the dance team. For football, we have the varsity head coach, James Lusby, the winningest coach in program history, and members of the BWAC district regional champions and state finalist team. For girls golf, we have Mark Bone and members of the girls golf team. On a side note, our girls have won 9 straight BWAC champions. We are the only school in the league to win a girls league championship, and that started in 2015. For boys soccer, we have sophomore Nicholas Morfino. Our soccer team was ranked in the top 10 in the state for most of the season. For boys tennis, we have senior Mark Shalandler. For volleyball, we have head varsity coach Mandy DeHunt. And then our sideline cheer is currently practicing right now, getting ready for their comp season, but they wanted me to share how much they enjoyed cheering on the football team from the sidelines this fall. So I would like to congratulate all of our fall sport athletes and coaches. Thank you to everyone for their support. So athletes and coaches will go in alphabetical order by sport. So to kick us off, we'll start with senior Chase Jones. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chase Jones. I was captain of the cross-country team this year. Just like to share some of the how the team plays this year. Within the league, we placed 5th for the boys, 6th for the girls. Regionals, we placed 6th for the boys, 4th for the girls. We had 3 state qualifiers this year. Colton Gribbs for the boys, and then Layla Avola and Ayla Deloyer for the girls. I'd like to point out, too, that 2 out of our 3 state qualifiers are underclassmen, which leads me into the next thing. Most of the top members of our team are underclassmen this year, so I believe over the next 1 to 2 years, we'll become a much more competitive team as they develop. Throughout the year, we had team dinners before every BWAC and before regionals. We ran the football from Armada High School to here for homecoming and presented it to Coach Lusby. We hosted a kids clinic for elementary school students to introduce them to cross-country and running. The team itself is extremely tight-knit. Most members of the team hang out outside of the team. We're all good friends, kind of like a family. Excellent coaches. Always pushed athletes to achieve both personal and athletic goals. Both Coach Wade and Coach Klein pushed members of the team to achieve their goals. They asked us what they were at the beginning of the season and pushed us to reach and surpass them throughout the year, and they were always there for us athletically and personally. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Mr. G, we know who's next.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn Ludwig, and I'm a second-year member of the Almont dance team. This year, the Almont varsity dance team is made up of 11 hardworking and talented girls, ranging from grades 8 through 12. We perform at halftime at all home football games and most home boys basketball games, also participating in 3 competitions, a kids clinic, and the Christmas parade. Because we are considered a club and not a sport, we are able to practice and perform for 3 seasons, summer, fall, and winter. Our complete season begins with tryouts in May or June, and we don't finish until mid-March with our last competition. Due to our season still having a little over 3 months left, we don't have any competition results. But so far this year, we have learned 9 routines to perform at games, and we will be spending the next 2 months preparing for our first competition.
Good job.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to start by thanking the Board of Education for having all the fall sports programs here tonight to recognize them. What a great honor. I would also like to thank the board, Superintendent Kim Van Helmeyer, AD Ross Gauthier, and Principal Steve Shiplip for supporting the football program and myself. It definitely makes it easier to coach when you don't have to worry about the outside of football stuff. They take care of it for you, so I appreciate that. I would also like to thank all my coaches for all the time they have put in with the boys. Definitely feel that we have the best football staff around. Almont football was 24-5 this year. That is a lot of winning football. But if you know me or you have kids that play for me, You've probably heard them talk about that our football program is definitely more than just about playing football on Friday nights. So I'm going to focus a little bit on the things that we do outside of football, and I'm going to let Lucas Mantini talk more about the season. Some of you may know and some of you may not, but one of the things that we do, we are asked all the time to help move items around the school, whether it's paper, stages, taking things from one building to another. The first person they come look for is myself, and they ask if I can get any of the boys, and I just reach out to them, and of course they are more than willing to help out. I don't know if it's because they get out of class sometimes, but they definitely are willing to help out. A couple other things that we did this year is that we went over to a resident's house in Almont, and we got a call one day right before practice started, and they were going to lose their insurance if they did not get some outhouse buildings cleaned up and torn down and move some items. So after a 3-hour practice, we got done, and I would say over half the team showed up, and they helped move things out of the outhouse building so that they could be demolished at the weekend, which then some of our guys went down after a Friday night game, went down and helped them take some of the buildings down. Some other things that we've done is this year we started, hopefully what is going to be a new tradition, is on homecoming we went over and greeted the OP students and opened car doors for them and just got them pumped up for the day. Probably something that we're going to look at doing maybe a little bit more than just one time. But unfortunately, that one time is homecoming, and that's the only time that a lot of our kids, because they go to Ed Tech, are around to be able to do it. So that's why we picked that day. Probably the biggest thing that I'm most proud of is taking our kids over in the spring and having them read to the OP students. Nothing but positive feedback that we get. They sit down with them, they read their favorite book with them. Some of them even go into character. And I even have kids that aren't even part of the football program now asking me if they can do it with us. So it's just spreading, it's getting bigger each year. And that's probably one of the most things I'm proud of from these guys doing. I'm going to let Lucas Mantini, he's one of our team captains, come up and talk about the season. I heard that we had a pretty good season. So, Lucas Mantini.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lucas. First of all, thank you to all our fans out there. I hope most of you guys are fans and have been supporting us the whole season. We finished the season 12-2. District champions, BWAC champions, regional champions, and unfortunately state runner-up, but boy, was it an experience. I'd like to thank you guys for letting us have those assemblies throughout all 3 schools. That was truly something. Thank you to the team for one last year, definitely a memory I think all you guys will take for the rest of your lives. And big thank you to our coaches over there. They put a ton of time in, whether that's extra hours at night, maybe their lunch breaks, just every little bit they can get through. They help us on the field and off. It's truly a pleasure to have them coaching us. I couldn't have asked for a better program to do it with. Thank you, guys.
Hello, I'm Coach Bone. This is Tara Tenza. So I was going to just kind of fly through an overview of our season, some stats, and let Tara really explain what she felt about the season. So for varsity golf, our season is comprised of 7 9-hole BWAC jamborees, where all 7 teams in the BWAC compete. 1 18-hole conference championship tournament, and at least 4 18-hole invitational tournaments, the MHA's regional and MHSAA state finals. In conference play, we play 6 golfers and score the 4 lowest scores. For all other events, we play 5 golfers and score the lowest 4. When I mentioned we play a minimum of 4 invitational tournaments, All-state selection is mainly based on 18-hole tournament scores, not your 9-hole matches. I feel it's important to ensure we provide our players the best opportunity to be recognized with all-state honors by playing the minimum of 4 18-hole tournaments. And by playing those 18-hole tournaments, we're also giving them a chance to compete in that 18-hole regional tournament and the MHSA state finals. Our JV schedules consisted of 3 BWAC 9-hole jamborees and 1 9-hole match versus Loser North. The JV won all of their matches. I'd like to take a second just to emphasize how important I feel it is to support a full JV schedule. I feel the only way our team and conference will be able to compete on the highest level is through the development of players in the JV and youth programs. I'm asking for any assistance that the board and anyone else can provide to influence the other BWAC schools to make sure they are hosting JV events and full JV squads. So a quick rundown, some bullet points. We had 7 first-place finishes in the BWAC 9-hole jamborees, the first-place BWAC conference tournament, first place in the Richmond Invitational, the 19th place at Twin Lakes Invitational, 10th place in the Next Tee Invitational, 3rd place in the Dick's Sporting Goods Invitational, 4th place in the MHA Regionals. We just missed qualifying by states, first states by 4 strokes, basically 1 stroke of golfers. So, tiniest bit. We had like Ross said, we had 9 straight conference championships. Jesse Kotz was our BWAC MVP. We also had 4 first-team all-conference players, Jesse Kotz, Olivia Kopnicki, Rachel Johnson, and Tara Tenza. We also had 1 honorable mention for BWAC, Nora Sinsat. So out of the 4 BWAC first-team members, Almont represented 4. Or out of the 8, we had 4. Great job. We also had 1 all-state member, Jesse Kotz. So quick stat.
Hi, my name is Sarah Tencha. I have been on the golf team for 2 years, and as you can see, because I know you all follow our progress, girls do know how to golf. We had a very successful season this past year, and hopefully that will continue. Our team feels more like a family, the way we always push and support each other. There was never a time, whether it was practice or a match, that we weren't all laughing or encouraging each other. Coach Bone supports us the most by putting in his time, effort, and especially patience in order to help us succeed. He is the foundation of our team, and we would be nowhere without him. We also owe a lot of our success to Heather Hills Golf Course for giving us an amazing course to practice at, not including all of the water hazards. We hope to prolong our success and continue to grow our program with the help of the board and the boosters.
Nicholas, you're up for boys soccer.
Hello everyone, my name is Nick Morfino. I'm a second-year player on the boys varsity soccer team, and I can just say from being there my first year and being there my second year that the growth that I've seen throughout the team as individual players, coaching, games, performance, everything has increased positively. I can say we did not win that many games our first year, or the first year that I played, but the second when we came back, I don't know what happened, but something changed and we just improved as a team. So some of our accomplishments are that we achieved a state ranking, which hasn't been done in a while. Our record was 15, 2, and 3 overall. 7 of our players were recognized for district awards and 1 for all-state honorable mention. We were as high as 11th place in state ranking, which was very good for us. We also got 2nd place in the BWAC and made district finals. And we won and tied against other teams that were higher division than us, which was also very good. And so I just want to give a thanks to our coaches, our school. I know that even the football team came out after, I don't know if it was a practice or a game, to watch one of our games and support us. And I just want to say thank you for all the support that you've given us.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Schlander. I am a senior and a four-year varsity tennis player, and I appreciate the opportunity to provide you with a summary of the tennis team's 2023 season. So we had 13 players in the team, 4 seniors, 4 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 3 freshmen. We finished the season with an overall record of 6 wins and 9 losses, and we finished in 3rd place in the BWAC. We had a challenging schedule, playing 3 Division I schools and also playing 14 of our 15 matches on the road. We finished 3rd in the BWAC league tournament, and we finished in 6th place out of 9 teams at regionals. Overall, we had a decent season, and we had a good group of players, and there was some good progress made by everyone. Thank you for your time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mandy DeHunt, and I've been the varsity volleyball coach here at Almont for 10 years. My 2023 philosophy going into the season was to create an environment where the players are encouraged to push themselves and each other, to work hard and hold each other accountable to meet individual goals. And I believe we did just that. We had a young team this year. Our season was a challenge. The average age of our team is 15. Over half of the team cannot make it to practice on their own. Not only were they young as far as years are concerned, but we were very green. For the 6 starters, they're on the court, 4 are sophomores, 1 is a freshman, and 1 is a senior, giving the bulk of our working players only 1 to 2 years of high school volleyball under their belt. And as most of them will tell you, there is a large gap as far as speed and strength go between 8th and varsity as well as JV and varsity. With all that being said, we accomplished quite a bit. We battled hard against the state-ranked team, Luther North, ended a difficult tournament in Lakeview, 3rd place with only 8 players. Took a set from Croslex, which is something that Almont hasn't done since 2016. And more importantly, this team and setter. For those of you who don't know, not having a setter is like not having a quarterback. And we have room is open from 7 to 8:30. Focus is on injury prevention and strength training, not just volleyball. This program is hungry to be better and is taking strides to make sure that happens. With the way the season ended and what we are already doing, I'm excited to see what the next year holds for this amazing group of athletes. And because I'd like to talk up our players as much as I can. Both of our seniors, Lydia Lacavera and Bernadetta Lazinski, made all-state all academic BWAC. Lydia Lacavera and Sydney Brinker made honorable mention BWAC. Lydia and Sydney also made all-area first team, and Genesis Fisher made second team. And finally, something else that we were able to do is purchase Huddle from our funds that we do for camp. And I'm still new to it, and I do not do technology well, so I'm working on it. But we've been able to use it to watch film, but also upload videos for players' college profiles. So it's our season. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, can we have one more round of applause for all of our fall sports programs? Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We really appreciate it. Are we doing? Yeah. Hey, guys, before you go, if we could get a picture of all sports programming, that would be amazing. Like up here, yeah. Guys, why don't you approach the stage so we can get a picture? It'll be good. All sports, guys. All sports as much as we can.
There we go. Oh, no, no.
Watch the mic. All right, are you staying for the rest? You just said you would stay. Exactly.
What am I talking to? First ever out.
Anyone else want an agenda signed?
Oh, agenda sign. This is counting, eh? They're double dipping.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like it. I just want to that Oh,
Keep the line going. Keep it even.
Guys, we can sign them down here for you too. I can sign you. You're going? Okay.
yeah. 'Cause then it doesn't- Yeah. That cleared out
Yeah.
quick.
Thank you.
Yep.
What happened?
It was nice to have them here, though. Is Mr. Shiplett doing
Yes. Yes.
Next up is Mr. Shiplett with Raider recognition.
I was hoping you were going to have a bigger audience, Mr.
Well,
Shiplett.
one way to
That's
boost your
okay.
confidence is that everybody leaves before it's your turn, so, yeah. For the update from the high school, for the student perspective, we continue to identify students in need of tutoring and are working to get them plugged into the right place. We're trading detentions for tutoring sessions. That way, when a kid shows up for detention, if there's some work they need to need help with, we slide them over to a tutoring group. So I think that's a good trade. Senior composite photo is scheduled for December 8th. The choir concert is on the 11th, and the band concert is on the 13th of December. So kind of looking forward to having everyone come out for those. Obviously, after a tremendous fall season for multiple sports, athletics are transitioning to winter sports, and we're excited for both the boys and girls teams in their program. So we did conduct a student survey in the fall, and here's some things that I picked up from that.
Over 75% of our students believe they receive a high-quality education. Over 85% of our students are aware of programs that offer support. Over 80% of our students say they are treated with respect. Over 80% of our students feel they are safe at Almont High School. Over 70% of our students say staff communication is prompt. And I'm positive we can make improvements in all these areas. I kind of like to think that better is never best, so we can improve in all those areas. As far as staffing goes, we continue to look for quality candidates for up-and-coming openings. As you know, it's a tough time of year to find people, as well as just our season and education in general. There are shortages everywhere, so we're looking everywhere we can. I had the privilege a couple weeks ago of interviewing Miss Allison Beaushaw for our position in the counseling department as our behavior specialist. The interviewing committee was unanimous in our decision to recommend her to the board. Her references were all outstanding. It was wonderful conversations with all of those. This is an area that's in high demand at the high school right now. Our former school sub is now working in classrooms with at-risk students and helping them complete tasks, which seems to be a needed area, just to have someone with them. Mr. Denoyer will also be holding homework lunches on Wednesdays and Thursdays as needed to help those students. Building culture. We are emphasizing kindness along with academics and athletics this year. Kindness is an area that's high. It's just it's kind of something that's important to me. So we're trying to focus on that virtue. Along with this, we've initiated a Students of the Month program. November Students of the Month are Brent Burrell, Ben Klein, Natalia Rad. Radisala. There we go. And Owen Rao and Montserrat Kerno. So 8th graders seem to have settled into the high school pretty well. We would like to make some minor adjustments going into next year. We're discussing developing a program in which we would look for 10 to 12 juniors that would be selected to help make the transition better in the future for each year. So they would go over and meet with them and then give them some tours and then be there for orientation. So just something to think about for the future. That's all I have.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for being. Okay, that brings us to our first questions and comments from the audience. I will not read the full public participation at board meetings guidelines as they are on your agenda, but just to summarize, this time is not for two-way communication, and there is a 3-minute time limit, which we will keep track of with our handy timer. Yeah, so are there any questions and comments? Oh, sorry, pertaining to agenda items, I forgot that. Okay. Oh, sorry, Mr. Wetzel. Just yell at me.
That's a new atmosphere.
It is.
Hi, Mr. Wetzel, obviously the band director here at Almont Schools. Of course, everybody left, but I want to say congratulations to all our fall sports. Almont has so many great teams and coaches, and it's really cool to see all the things going on in our school. Of course, as the band director, I'd like to thank the football team for their great run and making it to Ford Field, which gave the marching band a great opportunity to perform Ford Field. So I thought that was really cool, and a shout out to our 75-member band for performing at 5 extra games, including 3 travels, and thank the school for the support of allowing us to travel and be supportive of our team and give these kids opportunities to perform like Ford Field, which was an incredible performance if you were there. I'd also like to share that I'm excited about the new bond proposal as well, and the stuff that I'm hearing coming out of it that's going to be beneficial to all our buildings and schools, but more specifically the band, the idea of possibility of a new band room in the new field house. And our current band room with our 75-member group is way too small and inadequate for our students and equipment needs, and acoustically is not very well put together. So the idea of a possible new band room and bring in an acoustical engineer to make the room acoustically sound, which for if you're not sure what that means, it's how the room sounds with all the kids playing at the same time. Like I went to my alma mater after they built a whole new building, and my band director was like, here, I was standing next to him while the band was starting to warm up and play, and he's like, here, come step up here. And I come step on the podium, like everything came right into focus. Like I could pick out every instrument, every kid all around the room, and it just all brought it in. So just excited to the possibility of that happening in the future, as well as with the field house possibly being a performing atmosphere for our bands, where if we bring an acoustic engineer and set it up right, we might be able to have all our band concerts in that field house as well. So I just wanted to share that I'm really excited about the prospects and possibilities of the future. So thank you, board, for all your hard work, and hope things work out.
Thank you, Mr. Wetzel. It was absolutely incredible to watch the band perform on Ford Field. That's one of my favorites.
Yes, yeah. Mr. Wetzel, on that note, please know that the music department will be recognized this school year. Just so you know, it'll be a separate recognition, if you will. But thank you so much, and I hope that you recognize that we are promoting and making sure that your program is along for the ride as well. We're very, very proud of the marching band and the music program. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Last call for questions and comments for the first round. No, okay. That brings us to the first board questions and comments.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes, Mr. Sina.
And I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Wetzel. My son is a part of the marching band as well and just loves the experience that he has with your group. And every time he comes home, he's just excited to talk about it. And Ford Field was amazing. And I understand that one of your marching band students from last year was showcased on national TV on Saturday.
We have 3 current that I know of, college marching band members that are former Almont grads that are in University of Michigan, Dawson Maxwell at
Saginaw.
Grand Valley State University, and Peyton Reinhardt at Grand Valley State University, all performing in college marching bands. And Gabby was caught on TV, the camera right on her for a good chunk of time, so it was really cool to see. Very proud of those.
That's awesome.
I thought we were the best orange and black band out there.
Yeah, me too. I did too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board before we continue? Everyone left, but I loved seeing everyone here tonight, especially after the incredible seasons everyone has had, and just being able to get more recognition. Can always have more. Okay. Now it is time for the consent agenda. Is this it? Yes.
I move the Board of Education approve the consent agenda. Item A, approval of the minutes from the October 23rd, 2023 regular meeting. B, approval of the minutes from the November 6th, 2023 special meeting. C, approval of the minutes from the November 21st, 2023 work session.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion on the minutes?
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Wright.
As I was going through the minutes on October 23rd, we just had incorrect votes written underneath. And it was under personnel. We had one person that abstained, so the corrected vote should be 601. And under the AEA contract approval, again, it should be a 601 because we had an abstention. And it was only for October 23rd.
We need an amended motion to approve with the corrections. Make that motion first. Ms. Fred, do you want to make that?
I move to amend the minutes of the October 23rd, 2023 regular meeting to include the 2 abstentions. Somebody has to support it.
Support. All right, motion and support to, well,
To
sorry.
amend.
I actually think we need to,
You got to vote the amendment first.
oh, okay, we can do that. Motion and support to amend the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. So now we need to motion the approval of the all of the minutes with the amended corrections, which I think is what we're supposed to do. Yes, please.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Smith.
I move the, do you want me to reread the whole thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I move the Board of Education approves the consent agenda. A, approval of the minutes from the October 2023 regular meeting with the amendment noted. B, approval of the minutes from the November 6th, 2023 special meeting. C, approval of the minutes from the November 21st, 2023 work session.
Support.
Motion and support. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Wade, you're up.
Mrs. Edwards,
Yes, Mr. Wade.
I move the Board of Education approve the bills payable and the financial reports as proposed by administration and reviewed by the Finance Committee as follows. October 19th, 2023 to November 17th, 2023, general fund total, $477,242.08. School lunch fund, $74,723.41. Student activity fund, $24,405.60. 2014 sinking fund, $7,122.39. Subtotal, $583,493.48. ACH wire transactions, payroll, October 30th and November 15th, $746,921.37. Edu staff, $26,979.81. Health equity, HSA, $36,825.42. Credit card, BMO, $11,837.28. Health insurance, $106,704.57. Arbiter pay, $8,000.00. Pro care fees, $124.62. Total funds spent, $1,520,886.55. Check numbers and voided checks as listed below.
Support. Motion and support on the bills payable and financial reports. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And please take a moment to acknowledge the Orchard Primary, Middle School, and High School student activity account reports. And it's good to go with new business and our superintendent's report. Okay.
Well, I wanted to again do a shout out here, a special thank you to Mr. Gothier. I don't think he's here, but a special thank you to Mr. G and Mrs. Debbie Lemon for all their efforts to oversee and help coordinate our fall athletic programs. As I'm sure you would all agree, Almont Community Schools has a lot to be proud of at this time. We're blessed with very talented student athletes and coaches. I also wanted to express how amazing it was to see the majority of the Almont community at Ford Field this past Saturday. Win or lose, it was such a validation of our school community's strength and unity. Thank you to everyone involved with the planning and the coordination of the event, and it was a definite blast. I'd be surprised if there was maybe 10 people left in Almont this past weekend. So thank you to everyone. In regards to Orchard Primary, starting with Orchard Primary, a building update. Mrs. Allen, our principal, made it a point to brag about her students' M-STEP scores, and rightfully so. Our OP students achieved the highest percentage of proficient students when compared to Lapeer County districts in both 3rd and 4th grades in ELA. 3rd grade also scored at the top in the area of math, while 4th grade ranked 2nd in Lapeer County. OP students' proficiency levels trended upward from the previous year in all subjects and grades. OP's book fair was a huge success. A big thank you to Mrs. McConnell for her hard work to organize and facilitate this for OP. It was great to see so many kids with new books in their hands. The OP Raider Reps food drive took place throughout this past month. The food drive helped to stock the pantry at the First Congregational Church in Almont. At Almont Middle School, Mathematics update. AMS math teachers have identified students who are demonstrating above grade level proficiency in math. The teachers will be providing opportunities for those students to gain exposure and practice in advanced math skills and concepts to prepare them for an advanced pathway in math. Positivity Project. AMS held their first rock raffle for students to earn experiences such as first in line for lunch, lunch with the principal and dean of students, and an Uber. Thought this was pretty clever. An Uber to Uber a student around in an office chair to the students' classes for the day. So I thought that was really clever. The traditional rock shop will be held on December 6th. The parent-teacher conference participation rate at Almont Middle School was 75% for fall conferences this year. This is an increase from 56% last fall when the grade level configuration was grades 5 through 8. I'm sure you can imagine with grade 4 being there, we're going to see that push for participation, which is amazing. A shout out to the AMS teachers and staff members for the continued and consistent communication with our parents. Also, a shout out to Mrs. Kuhn, the AMS Media Tech Assistant, for also hosting a very successful Scholastic Book Fair. Almost $3,000 was raised to support the purchase of books for all students. So we're very excited about that. Obviously, with Mr. Shiplett here tonight, he gave you an update. Thank you, Mr. Shiplett, again for being here. I want to extend my gratitude to Mr. Shiplett for his continued efforts to build rapport with our school community. Both students and staff have expressed their appreciation for Mr. Shiflett's leadership style and his commitment to maintaining an exceptional learning environment. Thank you, Mr. Shiflett. A shout out to Mr. Sosnowski. Would like to extend a special shout out, and he wanted me to say this in front of the board, but Mr. Sosnowski was very thankful that Mr. Gothier was able to pull some strings this past weekend on Ford Field to get one of his photographers out on the field. That meant a lot to him, and he wanted to make sure there was recognition. Again, this was for our students, Selah Longley, and it was definitely a kudo for the yearbook club or program. So thank you very much from Mark Sosnowski. Yeah, and that's what I have. Thank you. Now we are on to finance. And call to ballot. The Board of Education from time to time may finance its capital improvements through the issuance of debt obligations. Policy 6145 states that borrowed funds will be approved by the board. Policy 6146 addresses procedures and systems designed to identify and demonstrate compliance with requirements that must be satisfied subsequent to the issuance of these obligations. Facts: at this time, the board finds it necessary to ask the voters whether to approve a bond project to provide improvements to the school facilities.
Mrs. Edwards.
Yes, Mr. Wade.
Whereas, 1, in the opinion of this board, it is necessary and expedient to ask voters whether to approve a bond project consisting of erecting, furnishing, and equipping additions to school buildings, erecting, furnishing, and equipping a new multi-purpose building, remodeling, furnishing, and refurnishing, and equipping and re-equipping school buildings, acquiring, installing, equipping, and re-equipping school buildings for instructional technology, and preparing, developing, improving, and equipping playgrounds, athletic fields, and sites. 2, this board estimates the necessary cost of the project to be $59,652,641. 3, it will be necessary for the district to borrow the sum of $58,400,000 and issue the bonds of the district therefore. The remaining funds to be derived from the investment of the bond proceeds. 4, this board intends to submit a proposition at a special election to be held on the 2024 Michigan presidential primary election date, which will be either Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, the February primary date, or Tuesday, March 12th, 2024, the March primary date, as designated by law. 5, by 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December 5th, 2023, the board shall certify any ballot proposition to be submitted to the voters at such election to the election coordinator or coordinators designated to conduct elections within the district, the election coordinator. Now therefore be it resolved that 1, a special election of the school electors of the district be called and held on either Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, or Tuesday, March 12th, 2024, whichever date is designated by law as the election date for the 2024 Michigan presidential primary. 2, the proposition to be voted on at the special election shall be stated on the ballots in substantially the form as set forth in Exhibit A. 3, the election coordinator is requested to A, utilize Tri-City Times and the County Press, a newspaper published or of general circulation within the district for publication of notices in accordance with election law requirements. B, utilize ballot proposition summary information as prepared by legal counsel in the forms of the notices of last day of registration and election in substantially the form as set forth in Exhibit B attached hereto. C, provide a proof copy of the ballot to the district and its legal counsel in sufficient time to allow the ballot to be proofread prior to printing. 4, this board estimates the period of usefulness of the improvements for which bonds of the district in the amount of $58,400,000 are to be issued to be not less than 30 years. 5, the secretary of this board is hereby authorized and directed to file a copy of this resolution with the election coordinator and with any election clerk or clerks designated to conduct elections within the district by 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December 5th, 2023, or by the filing deadline for the March primary date, if applicable. 6, all resolutions and parts of resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution be and the same are hereby rescinded. Mr. St. Ange, if you could do a roll call vote.
Yes, Mr. Walton is unable to be here. Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith is an aye. Mr. St. Ange, myself, I am an aye. Mr. Batani?
Aye.
Mr. Batani is an aye. Ms. Frederickson?
Nay.
Ms. Frederickson is an aye. Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Wade is an aye. Ms. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Edwards is an aye. We have 5 ayes, 1 nay, and 1 non-vote.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Members that were ayes were Smith, St. Ange, Batani, Wade, and Edwards. Nays were Frederickson. Absent was Mr. Wallen. Resolution declared adopted.
It is personnel and approval of resignations.
The Board of Education may agree to a resignation, retirement at any time after a replacement, if necessary, suitable to the school administration and the board is obtained, provided that the circumstances underlying the resignation or retirement are valid in the opinion of the board and warrant a search for replacement. Facts: Angelique Sharp, special education paraprofessional, has resigned due to accepting a job in another district. Renee Pyra, special education paraprofessional, has resigned due to personal reasons. Dawn Wiedemeyer, special education teacher, has accepted a job in another district. Kristen Warbeck has decided to retire after over 23 years in our district.
This was discussed and recommended by committee 3-0.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Fred.
I move that the Board of Education accept the resignations of Angelique Sharp, Renee Pyra, Dawn Wedemeyer, and Kristen Warbeck, and wish them well.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. It will be greatly missed. Next is the approval of new hires.
The Board of Education approves all personnel. The movement of some current staff members into new roles and positions, along with open positions, has caused us to fill these roles. Stephanie Fellick has moved from Orchard Primary Special Education Aide to the 11T Paraeducator position. Shelley Sadler has moved from Orchard Primary Recess Aide to the 11T Paraeducator position. Orchard Primary, Randy Betcher, 11T Paraeducator. Brenda Savani, 11T Paraeducator. Sametree Lel Bashan, Special Education Paraprofessional for the MOSI program. Diane Minnick, Recess Aide. For Almont Middle School, Vicki Boyd, Special Education Paraprofessional. And Almont High School, Allison Boshaw, Mental Health Specialist.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Fred.
I move that the Board of Education approve the hiring of the individuals listed and welcome them to the district.
Support.
Motion and support. Do we have any discussion?
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Brett.
I did ask for some clarification from Ms. Von Hiltmeyer, and I have shared with her that I have some concerns regarding one of the individuals, so that she's aware of that.
Yes. Okay, motion support. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Last on personnel is a contract.
Sorry. Thank you. Okay. The Board of Education approves the employment contracts of all personnel. We have many staff members that are not part of any collective bargaining agreements and thus have individual contracts with the Board of Education for duties to which they are assigned. The recommended compensation package has been discussed, reviewed with the board. Any changes have been discussed with the Board of Education.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Brett.
I move that the Board of Education approve the compensation package of the non-represented individual as discussed in the work session.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Last, but certainly not least, because I am so excited about this, curriculum and the adoption of the biology program.
No course of study shall be taught in schools unless it has been adopted by the board, policy 2230. Almont High School would like to adopt a new biology program. Ms. Rohrbeck provided a presentation at the November work session outlining the benefits of this new program, which was piloted in her classroom. The cost of the new program will be covered by the Corner Family Grants.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Brett.
I move that the Board of Education approves the addition of the new high school biology program.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I love adopting new curriculums. Favorite. Okay. That's quick, guys. Good job. That brings us to our second questions and comments from the audience. We were all here for the first rules, so I don't need to say them again. Yes, Ms. Campbell. Hi.
Okay, since you're not going to answer, I can still ask and then you'll get back with us? Yeah,
Sure.
okay. So I'm just wondering, since the application for the qualification of the bonds got approved, when you'll be putting a copy of that on the bond website?
A copy of the application?
Yeah,
The
why
track
not?
application? We'll have to get back to you on that, but our bond website is going to be up and ready to go.
Okay,
tomorrow
all right, but that would be on it?
You can certainly add it.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, well, I want to,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm Gail Brinker. I took a look at the consulting agreement between Roncelli and Almont Community Schools, and it states that one of the pre-vote services will be to organize and attend up to 5 community outreach events. Included in the agreement, Roncelli will provide election information services with a third party who I assume will do the community outreach piece. As of today, we only have 13 weeks before the February 27th vote. So I just have 3 little questions. Who is that third party, if that could be disclosed? And has a date for the first of these community events been set yet? And where will the meetings be held?
Our third party. Our third party is hired through Roncelli. It is Idea 39. There have been no community outreach meetings set yet because everything had to wait until we called to ballot. So they are ready to hit the ground running tonight as soon as they knew it got board approval, and we will definitely publicize all of that information on our bond Facebook page as well as wherever else we can.
And will the meetings be on site here or at another site or in houses? Or?
Can't hear you.
I'm unsure. We don't have any of those details yet, but we will put them out as soon as that's made available.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it does say up to 5, so it's possible there might only be one, but I'm really hoping we got a lot more than one.
Absolutely. We agree. Mr. Campbell.
Yeah, my name's Dennis Campbell. When do you plan on going to the voters to ask for a sinking fund?
I believe you asked us at the work session. We're not renewing our sinking fund, which is the only thing that had to be done this year. We have until next August to decide what we're going to do with the sinking fund. When the board puts it on the agenda and votes on it, that's when it will be decided.
So you have no plans on asking for a sinking fund?
The board's plans are stated through the vote, and we have not voted on that yet. The only thing we voted on, which is our only plan, is to not renew the current language.
I was at a meeting where you disagreed with the language, so you wanted to reword it. So given that, it seems kind of obvious that you're going to go for a sinking fund, which would add more mills
That
to the
wouldn't,
community as far as taxes.
doesn't add more mills. The sinking fund is its own separate line item.
Right,
But
which is gonna cost more
when
money.
the board has that conversation, it will be in an open meeting, and
Okay.
you're welcome to attend.
So you don't know.
I can't speak for how the board is going to vote, and we speak through our vote.
Okay.
So it will
there's
be an
no-
open meeting.
There's no plan to go for a sinking fund at this time.
There's no board vote to go for a sinking fund at this time.
Perfect.
When there is one, it will be in a public meeting. Any other questions and comments? Okay, board questions and comments?
Ms. Edwards?
Yes, Ms. Smith?
I just really wanted to thank Amanda again. You have hit the ground running. I really want you to know how much I appreciate you, like all the board packet, the organization, the extra above and beyond. I really want you to know how much I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And I just want to thank you. And I also want to thank Max. You have been working tirelessly too, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. So, and my other thanks, Ms. Vaughn. I heard the pop assembly was amazing through all the buildings, all the students, the staff. So thank you for just bringing all that energy to all of the buildings. I think everybody was just, they were on cloud.
I had a lot
they
of
were
help.
on cloud orange.
Yeah, for sure. No, I had a lot of help. No, it was great.
Yes.
Just a reminder to the board, we have our MASB workshop tomorrow night for our board operating procedures. So hoping to see all of you there from 5 to 8. It is here at the high school here in the media center.
Ms. Edwards,
Yes, Mr. Dean.
I just want to add as far as the assemblies, fantastic job on that. One thing I would say as far as the send-off on Saturday, if they could slow down to less than 45 miles an hour as they're going past us downtown.
Oh, wow.
Everybody was like,
Oh, wow.
okay,
Jeez.
there we go.
The quick wave.
But it was fantastic to see everybody show up for that as well. Again, congratulations to the team.
Absolutely.
Fantastic year.
Good stuff.
Any other board comments? I'll go. Board Field was so much fun. we packed out our whole side, I think. It was incredible, even though it was very acoustically sound because I could only hear Kingsley. And so now I have no voice because I thought no one was cheering, but apparently it was very loud on the field, I was told. Thanks to the band and cheer. I think dance was there too. It was just an incredible community uniting event. And I was so proud of our community and our district for coming together. So,
That covers everyone.
yes.
Mr. Scheffler, I also want to thank you. I've heard really great positive things, and I feel like you have jumped right in. And I appreciate your energy and to keep it up. So thank you.
Ditto everything Janae said. Okay, future agenda items.
Ms. Edwards,
Yes, Mr. Smith.
I move that the
Wait.
board. Oh,
We gotta do future agenda items first.
Oh,
Are there
sorry.
any future agenda items?
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes.
I was wondering if we could put on our agenda, taking a little bit of a closer look at our STEAM program. I appreciate, Ms. Vaughn, what you did to implement some of that this year, and would like to talk a little bit more about what we can do to make it maybe a little bit more comprehensive, just as we talk about a board, as a board, what we'd like to see our vision be with that. So that's a possibility, please.
Okay, now Mr. Singer.
I move that the board move into closed session to discuss a student matter.
Motion and support to move into closed session for a student matter. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, sorry.
Mrs. Edwards?
Yes.
Because of the student and me working closely with that student in the past, I will not be attending the closed session at the recommendation. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Red. Okay, motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, there will be one action item taken when we move back into open, but we're in closed. I have to go. Okay, 15 minutes, about 15-minute break.
Lost my train.
You are good to go. All right, have a good one. Thank you.
Our awesome assistant made sure.
Very best.
You're welcome.